Mm. Hey y'all, welcome to the Devon A. Morris Unfiltered Call-In Show. Have a seat. Let's get ready. You have any questions? Come on, call in. Come on to that Discord channel. Do me a favor, get the unfiltered crew some finger snaps. We're ready to get started here. Mondays, 8 p.m. Every single Monday, we're here. I'm excited about it. Are you? Let's get this show started, y'all. The greatest Scrum show on earth. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy. Hey, everybody. How you doing? How's it going? How's life treating you? Life is always treating me super swell, super excellent. It's just good times, man. You see, I'm not really on vacation. I don't have no school this next couple weeks. Well, this is the last week. But the point is, I'm kind of off my game, right? So I didn't create no topic, anything like that. I've been busy doing stuff with the businesses. I just told myself I'm gonna actually run some Scrum tomorrow. Run some Scrum and maybe record some stuff to show you how to use Scrum outside of IT and all this other stuff. So I'll say, hey, what's up, Patrick? How you doing? I'm good, man. I got to get these guns back together, right? I really do. I got to get them back together. They're not as good as what I need them to be. Because I kind of gained 20 pounds of muscle and I kind of lost 20 pounds of muscle. So I just stopped going to the gym and started doing cardio and, tried to slim down and got myself. I'm right, but I need to lose more, so I had to get a couple of things. So yeah. I got to get the guns back together. So it's coming. That's the reason why. The summer. I'm winter focused now. So I'm like, I need to get to the winter so I can be on it, right? But anyway, the point is, yeah, I'm relaxing because I don't have no school this week. Legitimately, I just don't have no school this week, so I'm happy, right? So you get 2 week break in between terms, and so I'm just over here celebrating and taking care of stuff for kids and all this other kind of stuff. So it's a real simple day to day. Just so you all know, I don't have a topic. I'm just coming here and answering questions. I'm double checking, everything to make sure we're good to go. And seeing if anybody got anything to talk about. What's going on, D? How you been? How's life treating you? It's treating me well. But I'm always happy. I had a conversation with a guy who I did some work with, and he's just like, man, you like you was when I met you. You just like carefree. You ain't got no issues, and yeah, I don't have no real issues, man. I don't, right? Even if I had some issues, I just be finding ways to work through it, man. Make it all happen. Make myself get to the other side of it, right? And I got business things to do, so it's been heavy focused on that. Thinking about changing, marketing systems, and I got to do all the legwork for that, and I got a list. I got a whole list here of things. I create a list every single day of the things I need to accomplish, and I'm just knocking stuff out. My PMP renewal, had to work on that, so that, all my PDUs, get all those things in. So I kind of carve this time up in between my classes to take care of certain things, so that I can make sure that I'm good to go. But other than that, everything else is amazing, good. So again, let me say it one more time. We're about to be 5 minutes into it when we normally start a topic. I do not have a topic for today. So if y'all got any questions, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, let's go ahead and chop it up and talk about it. Let me jump myself on LinkedIn just to make sure that I'm good to go on that end, so that I can make sure that they're taken care of as well. Sometimes LinkedIn just wants to be funky with me. One of the things I've been doing, y'all, which I haven't written any new articles, is I've been putting out articles like 3 days a week. Like I'm putting articles out there about 3 days a week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and I got the just working through stuff, man. So it's just good. So Patrick tell me I got the secret to loading those PDUs. Let me know if you need them, man. Patrick, let me tell you something, man. I did it all one by one. So next time, so let me know the secret. So next time I do the secret. you know, yeah, for real. Yeah, there's no joke. Like I had to get the, the thing that's crazy is my PM IACP. I gotta pay for it now. It hasn't didn't let me go through and pay for it. But the PMI ACP that I have is suspended, right? Now I'm a CSM, so I'm not as worried about the PMI ACP being suspended, right? And so I'm like, do I need to renew that one or not? But I've had it since 2011, since the pilot, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and put the PDUs in for this and for that, even though the PMP covers several for it. So I'm just like, so I had to go through all that debate. But I mean, Patrick, it took me a solid hour plus, like legitimately took me over an hour to do that. Yeah, it really did. It really did. I want to say closer to 2 hours because it just was like okay, you know. So I was very concerning for me. So I just I got it done though. I got it done at least to the place where I got them all in. We'll see if they all get approved. It looks like for the most part they were getting approved. Because some of those things are automatically approved. And then you know how it is if you've been around this PMP thing for any time. Some things get automatically approved, other things just you got to go through the whole process of things. So yeah, so I'm very happy. So yeah, so next time, yeah, I definitely not even next time, bro. Let me know what the secret is, right? Because I'd rather, I got a lot of people that got this PMP thing, and they probably want to know too. But I'm all game for the secret, bro, for real. Like you don't get it twisted, straight up. I'm all game for the secret, man. Seriously. So I just went in to renew, just to click the renew button to see if it's gonna add the stuff to my shopping cart. It has not. I guess I'm okay. I'll wait till tomorrow to see what's up. It's saying we received your previous order for certification and it's currently being processed. Please monitor your status for my PMI. So I guess they waiting to get a final approval. It's all good. But that PMI ACP was what I didn't know, which I should have known, is that when you get your license suspended, they give you a 1-year grace period, right? And so you can get it renewed within that year of that grace period, right? So really, you got 3 years, but plus the grace period to get it done. So it's just like I'm just going through it, and then I called them, and here's my question. I said, can can I combine these things so they can be on the same cycle, like the same PDU cycle? Can we do that? Sync them up? And they can't do that. They can't sync them up. So I'm like, that sucks. Right? Because then there's just two things I got to be worried about, and I'm never going to be worried about the PMICP. I'm just really not going to be, right? It pales in comparison, at least for me, to the actual PMP. So I'm like, okay, this is what you got to go through. And so I'm over there, I would advise them to sync up. Not that it's a real complaint, because PMI is amazing, right? But I really would love for my certs to be synced up, so then I do them in the same sequence. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Am I just talking crazy here, right? For anybody who has that PMP, right? You should know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then you don't got no PMP. It is what it is, man. You live the fancy. You live in the fancy life. I'm living I got the renew life, right? So I'm actually pretty solid and pretty happy. I tried to go over to LinkedIn and it didn't want to. It was pretending like I don't have a show showing over there, but I should have a show showing over there for my LinkedIn people. So LinkedIn people, I haven't made it over there yet, but I'm gonna try to, just to make sure that I jump in on you for just a hot second. Make sure you're good to go, just in case you got questions, anything like that. But yeah, man, you talking about feeling good, man? I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good, y'all. It's kind of one of those things where, I got A's this quarter, right? I'm rocking straight A's, so I'm rocking A's across my entire program, right? So there isn't anything special going on. I just got A's across the board. And I feel like there's no need for me to even think about it any different than that, because I'm spending my money. And if I'm spending my money, I need to get the best grades possible. If you know what I mean, right? So I'm just saying, it just is what it is, right? So that being said, as usual, make sure you say hi. But again, I'm here to answer questions. So this is what I'm thinking, y'all, because I don't know. I feel like we may be slacking here, because every time I come here, my primary purpose is to answer questions here. But I think everybody has gotten too much into me doing the initial part of presenting, right? You got five. You got five. Whoa, 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 Patrick. I have five of those certs. Oh God, wow. And I have to keep them. Those. Wow, Patrick, you got five PMI certs. You probably got the program one too, and the portfolio one. Wow, Patrick. Wow. You probably got the discipline agile one too. That's a lot, man. I must say to you, Patrick, that's a lot, brother. That's a lot. You're a better man than me. You're way better man than me. Way, way better man than me. I have to admit that up front. Yeah, that's wild, dude. I gotta say. Oh, I didn't do it. I didn't want to do that. I want to do this. I was trying to make it something you pop up on the side, but it don't want to do right by me today. Yeah, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, but brother, you better than me, man. You way better than me. Wow. Okay. All right. Hey, I don't have all that. So yeah, PMI is getting paid off Patrick for sure. For sure. The real question I would ask you, Patrick, is how valuable do you feel like those other certifications are? Like beyond the PMP, how valuable are the other certifications? How have they helped you? That would be my bigger question, right? Just the PMP is so big compared to the other ones, right? So I'm curious as to how the other ones how do they set themselves apart? So it's just like the CSM. The CSM is really really big, right? But then you have the other ones like the ACSM, the CSP, even CST. You just don't have as many people that have them, right? So I'm just curious. I'm just curious on how that works out for you. You know, yeah. I even have the Six Sigma thing I got to do. Do CEUs on. But I'm about to start letting some of these certifications go because it's just too much.
I didn't understand that.
I know you didn't, phone. I wasn't trying to talk to you. But yeah, I'm gonna have to let some of the certifications go. It's just a bit much, man. It really is a bit much, right? It's not even that it's a whole problem. It's just trying to keep up with them. It's crazy, and so I just be like, I don't know if I want to do that. So yeah, but other than that, we're good. So anyway, let me ask: do y'all have any questions? Anybody in here with any questions? That's the big question. Anybody in here with any questions, right? The knowledge base on those ones pull you in the agile spirit. Yeah. So it was more an enhancement on the PMIACP. Yeah, the PMIACP, man, was just when I got it, it was just a test, right? It was just like test. That was it. They did all these grandfather kind of things for PMPers to some degree, and it was just a test ultimately, right? And I was cool with that, right? But yeah, that's good to have those add-ons, right? Hopefully they are helpful financially. That's the hope, right? Well, let's just say they're not helpful financially. Hopefully they're helpful from a marketability standpoint, because at least they should get your name on some tables, right? That you wouldn't be able to get on if you didn't have those certifications, right? So that's what I would think, more marketability versus anything else. So I think that's really amazingly cool. I think that's really cool, right? So yeah, so I like it. I like it. It's interesting to say the least. So then, once again, we'll jump out there. I don't have a topic for the night, y'all, unless you want to see my brand. The Q's is in the house right there. I don't have a topic for the night. I'm just here to answer questions for the night. Here's a big question I have for y'all. For you all that's here, right? I'm thinking about doing the question and answer once a month and going to videos and start putting out videos every Monday instead of having live every Monday, because y'all don't have a lot of questions. Like, you literally don't. And the whole purpose is to answer your questions and not to go through all the topics. And I can go through the topics and just submit a video once a week and make sure you have that. So, so I'm curious as to what you all think about that. I may restructure things here. So what do you think about that possibility of restructuring things? Maybe every first or second Monday, having the question and answer session is live, and then going ahead to actually have videos, and then I can actually put out 2 videos a week, making sure they're 10 minutes or less, something like that, right? Where it's super tight. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about that, right? So I have Wahid here. who asked a question here. I'm gonna do something really unique here. Let me see something. I'm gonna try something real quick, y'all. So y'all, this is me running a test. I'm running a quick test, y'all. Hopefully this doesn't do anything crazy. Okay, so Wahid sent this right here, so I'm just threw it up there. I took a screenshot. You all should be able to see that. But what he's saying is, how do you see the demand for Scrum Masters, Agile coaches? Too many layoffs. Can we redeploy in other industries? Wahid, I would say to you specifically, we've talked about this on this show before. And what I will say to you very specifically is what I've seen is you are correct. There has been a lot of layoffs within IT driven organizations, like really where technology is the major driver. What I would spin off to, if I was you, I would spin off into other industries that are growing and growing in interest here. The government, healthcare are two of those industries that we talked about. Every 3 months we do an update, the employment update, and we talked about that in our last employment update. And I think that may be where you want to go is start looking at other industries. It's the other industries that's going to be really helpful for you, and they're trying to do they're trying to take this agile stuff and take it to the next level as well. And so if I think about where I've been in the past 2 years, healthcare, construction, government, logistics. Like those are the organizations in the past 2 years that I've tapped into. It's been government, healthcare, logistics, construction, right? And here's the deal. I'm not talking about training, right? Because training is not the same. I'm talking about where I was an actual agile coach, right? In terms of helping them with things that they needed help with, right? And so I would say to you, that is probably the direction that I would think about moving forward in. That's how I would definitely think about it, because I don't know how else you deal, right? So legitimately, I think you redeploy to other industries is what I would say to you. You kind of get yourself into those other industries, see what those industries are truly looking for, what type of value they're trying to achieve there, and I think that you can do some amazing things, really, and I'm being real serious about that. So I would say to you, start looking at other industries, right? I think your skills would be valuable. I think a lot of people's skills would be valuable in terms of that. And it's what I've been seeing from a consulting standpoint, right? And as being a part of Bearded Eagle, I'm not going into a company to be a full-time employee, right? And so they're pulling me in as a sharpshooter, right? I'm coming in to do something very specific for a temporary period of time, which at some point means they got to backfill whatever it is that they're trying to do if what I was doing wasn't temporary. And what we try to do in terms of Bearded Eagle, I'm actually going to start another organization centered around human potential, so you all know. As I kind of wrap up getting close to this PhD thing, I think my interest goes beyond Agile and more to I'll talk about that in just a second. But what I'm thinking to myself is, for me, I'm in organizations temporarily, and being in them temporarily means they need to backfill me at some point normally, because the things that I bring to the table aren't things that they can just say they don't need anymore. Right? And so a lot of times I'm in there training people to do what I'm doing, so and then they can be more self-sufficient, because part of Bearded Eagle's thing has always been to leave organizations in a better position than what we came, to put them in a position where they can do more of this without us. And even though that doesn't turn into a lot of pay, I've always thought that was the right thing to do by the people in the organizations, right? And so we position them for success and position them to not need us. And in doing that, that means that other people will need to replace us. And so inside of those organizations, I always had somebody that was going to replace me, right? To some degree, several people usually. But I think that's how I would think about it. It's other industries that you should try to look into, and not just think I need to go work at Amazon or go work at the Googles of the world, right? Yeah, they're still always going to do Scrum. But the idea is that I think that you can look elsewhere and find it, and that's where jobs are, in abundance, right? That, in terms of looking at the employment update and everything else, there's a lot of jobs being created. I think that the increase rate for industry is like 3%. I think that the government and healthcare is moving at about 9% increase in terms of jobs, right? And they mapped that out to 2032. So there's an expectation that these things will happen year over year in those industries. And so when I first got into the entire Scrum thing, I literally went to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and that's where I learned that technology was the place for me to go, and that its outlook was going to be tremendous. And so, in its outlook being tremendous, I think that was at least the thing that put me into IT, and IT actually put me in a Scrum at some point, if that makes sense, right? But my research started with the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. That's where it started at, right? And looking at their outlook is what got me into doing what I needed to do. So I would say to you, we'll be probably toward the beginning of next month. We'll be having another. It's either next month or it's October, or maybe we missed it. We couldn't have, because what we do is we do it after the third month. So we gotta do it after the ninth. So next one would be October. But I told myself I'm about a month behind on those kind of things with what the government's doing, because I think they put the update out every 2 months, and so probably I'm gonna do that sooner versus later, right? And so we may end up on this show doing this more often, so then we can make sure people have the latest, greatest information. So yeah. So that employment update is going to be coming. I'll double check to see what that cadence is, and I'll probably just make it a video for it so everybody can have access to the video. So I say to you all on LinkedIn, here's the deal: just subscribe to the show. Subscribing to the show is always going to be more beneficial for you. Trust me. Another thing that I've done, so you all know, and again, any more questions, drop your questions in the comments, or you're welcome to join me on the chat. If you're going to join me on the chat seriously, then I got to go grab some headphones. So just let me know you want to join on the chat, and we can do that. But here's what else I would say to you, right? I know, at least with some things, I'm making some shifts, so you all know. I got three articles that I'm doing per week. And so sometimes those articles make it into a newsletter, sometimes they don't. And so I'm spending a lot of time while I'm on break writing articles, right? So when I'm away from school, I just write a whole plethora of them, right, around topics that I've already thought about during the school year. And so what I would say to you is really very simple. I'm going to be communicating a newsletter out. And so some of you all may want to join the newsletter, right? The newsletter probably talks about 3 topics. And it's really providing you with 3 different articles is what it boils down to. And then making sure we get, because I'm trying to help people get to the next level, in terms of their career, or at least the direction that they want to move forward in. So it's kind of one of those things. That's what the newsletter is really focused in on, so you all know. So just know that already goes out, because I sent it out to Bearded Eagle alumni. And it definitely went out today. I haven't checked the stats on it. But it's always a good thing to send that out, because, I re-engage with people who I haven't seen in a time, right? And so I think that newsletter is pluses. If you want access to that newsletter, next week or whenever, I'll let you know, because I'm actually I'm changing some things, right? I'm changing some things with the business and everything else to make things a tad bit easier in terms of handling stuff. So just working on some stuff, but some of the stuff you got to be heavy on the grind. So I may just do Scrum tomorrow. Like I do 2-hour sprints to get through stuff, and tomorrow is probably gonna be what I'm gonna do, and I may record it, because I've noticed I was doing that today, and people ask questions about doing Scrum outside of IT, and I do it all the time, right? So it's just one of those things. I'm just checking in the newsletter of what went out, so you all can have an idea of what I'm talking about, because I don't be talking crazy to you. I'll be real serious, right? I'll be real serious. So today's newsletter went out. Yeah. And people definitely clicking on things, right? double checking stuff. So it's just part of what we're doing here. Part of what we're trying to do to make everybody be great again. There was a couple of articles that I think was actually pretty cool. Probably the one that was near and dear to my heart. Let me look at that email real quick. Probably the one that was near. Oh man, nah. Oh man, the one that's near and dear to my heart, man, was this one. I'm just gonna copy this right here, and I'm just gonna grab it and throw it here real quick. You know, I know it's covering my face, but but concerned about going back to school, right? This is one of the articles that's in there, because I'm going back to school, right? I've done it, and I've been doing it for some time. So it's articles like this that's helpful, right? And so it's a bunch of shots in the dark, and it covers a lot of stuff because, one article was about dealing with gossip at work. Another one was about referral strategies to help advance your career. So those were the three articles that went out. And they're already on the website. If you don't know, there's a website I'm doing as well. Well, I did Devon Morris website, right? So nothing special about it. Kind of associated with the show, mostly associated with me. And we just kind of building stuff. So we're trying to make sure things are working as expected. That's the reason why I'm like, what's really going on? So I'm gonna have to change up because I see, people here. This is good, and you all are more engaged that I don't have a topic. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy right there, right? So I was like, wait a minute, man. That's not how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to work this way. I'm trying to get everything. So anyway, the point is, other questions. What other questions do you have? What other questions do you have? Because I'm here to answer your questions, right? More than I am to talk about myself or talk about anything else, right? Yeah, man. So it's just, it's just a beautiful thing. So then, let me take care of this too. Make sure everybody had a link to, gotta make sure, people had a link to YouTube. Yeah, before the show, I was over talking to my brother, man. And, helping him out. Think through some stuff, right? Because sometimes you just need to think through some stuff. So it can be good to go. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the show. Like the show, like us, and then we can let other people know about what's going on with us, because we're doing good things out here. I feel like we're doing great things. I think we're amazing, right? One thing that happened today was unique for me is Phil Donahue officially died. If you know anything about Phil Donahue, he kind of made it okay for Oprah to be where she at, right? He blazed a certain path for daytime talk shows, right? And so so that dude, seeing him, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen him in years. So other than that, man, everything else is cool. Everything else is good. I'm gonna drop this on LinkedIn as well, the actual YouTube. So please go ahead and subscribe, right? Like and subscribe. I need to learn to say that more. I don't say it enough, but I'm good to go. So other questions. What other questions do you all have? Whether Agile, Scrum, entrepreneurship, project management, what's your topic today? What would you like to talk about? You all know how we do it. You're welcome to join the show live, or you can go ahead and drop it in the comments, right? Drop it in the comments. So you drop it in the comments. I'll answer it. I will answer it. So other than that, everything else is cool, y'all. Everything else is cool. I just got my list that I'm working through, and I'm just having a good time. Like, it's so weird, right? Me not having school for a week, it feels like I'm cheating. Like, it feels like I'm cheating. Like, I kid you not. It legitimately feels like I'm cheating. And we get 2 weeks off. But, man, I feel like I'm cheating. But that's okay. They make the classes available this Thursday, so it's going to be back to the grind. Got a lot of stuff to do. So, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's interesting because I got to start thinking about dissertation, y'all. I have legitimately 3 classes before I jump into dissertation. Like that right there. It's racking my nerves. Like, legitimately, I could tell y'all this, right? I could be honest with you, right? It's racking my nerves. Like, it's racking my nerves. It's exciting, but it's racking my nerves, right? I'm really excited about it, but it's really racking every nerve that I have. I'm super nervous about this thing, right? I am, you know, I really, really am, you know. So we're gonna see how this works, you know. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, right? Um, you know, I had to tell somebody who I've worked with in the past today, you know, because we gonna partner on some things, you know, that you know I'm in this PhD thing, and things are definitely a little bit slow motion for me because I spend 40 to 60 hours. Well, I say 30 to 60 hours a week on this thing. Like it's crazy. It's like another job. It's like another job. It's like crazy. Like it's another job. Seriously. So it's like I'll be going crazy about it, but that's okay. I'm closing my blinds. I don't need anybody looking at me while I'm in here. It makes me feel a little sketchy, like they're gonna try to get me. And I don't like people to try to get me. You feel me? I really don't. I really don't. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll be having fits. But you know, I have fits when I need to. Anyway. So yeah. So anyway. All right, y'all. Double check it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn just started had issues loading. Wow. So it ain't that no more. I'm gonna refresh it and see what yeah. Okay. All right. I don't see anything new over there. All right, y'all. So what else is on your guys' minds? Double checking. There's nothing. We probably are going to shut it down for the day. We've been here 30 minutes. Got a couple questions in, at least one good question in, and some good exchange. And Patrick's going to help me out with those PDUs for the future. So that's a good thing, you know. So I look forward to that. Other than that, y'all, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just chilling like a villain. I'm good. Y'all good. Everybody's good, it seems. Everybody's happy. So I asked one more again, y'all. I see 6 solid people over here, 3 people over there. So, you know, about 10 people here. So any questions that y'all have? Any questions y'all have about anything? Thank you to those who liked. You know, I like that. I think today I want to read a comic book. Hey, what's going on, CT? Hopefully you're doing all right, brother. Hopefully you're doing all right. I'm good, man. I'm in between sessions for the PhD. You getting your PhD, I am too. I'm in between sessions, brother. For real. So I'm like, you know. Although I had to take a step away thinking of a question. Well, if you don't, CT, if you ain't got a question, it's all good. You know, we'll be back. We're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep doing this thing that we're doing. We're going to keep trying to make it happen. But yeah. I don't expect people to have questions every single week. I really don't. But I'm here for that, right? I'm here for that, right? Definitely here for that. So let's see. What else is going on, y'all? Yeah, we can't get around. I don't know. There's a huge embrace of AI within the PM space, right? PMI itself is pushing out good training content on it, as well as developing and training its own tool, Infinity. That's pretty good, right? How do roles in Scrum catch up? Well, I know that Scrum Alliance is working on things that have to do with AI. I don't think it's doing it at the pace that PMI is, but I know that as an organization, the Scrum Alliance is doing something very similar, where they have created additional classes and they are moving in a direction. I can't say that they're creating their own tool. You know, I know that PMI is a different kind of beast. And it's interesting because I see AI in every single tool. You know, so the problem that we have fundamentally is PMI is such a big leader within the project management industry, and there's nobody else that compares to PMI. I would say that Scrum is fragmented a lot more. So it's almost like the difference between Android and iPhone, right? Where if you're going to make an update to an iPhone, all the other iPhones are going to get the update. So PMI kind of operates in that kind of space where it's just like, hey, this is the new operating system. Everybody line up, right? Scrum is kind of like Android, where you got Samsung and LG and somebody else, and they all have their own version of Android to some degree, right? And the problem is that when you want to do something, they don't have the collective power to do it. And so it is one of those things where I think it is just going to be more difficult for the Scrum world to move in that direction, especially since Scrum Alliance is non-for-profit. The other organizations are for-profit, but they're not a PMI. PMI is literally a huge de facto standard. I could say that hundreds of thousands of people have a CSM. Hundreds of thousands, right? But I can say this much. I guarantee you that there are more volunteers in the state of Connecticut in terms of PMI than there would be volunteers related to Agile in meetups in New York. I take that bet, even though I do not think I'm right, right? But the number of volunteers in a chapter compared to what you see across the Agile space is quite different. And so PMI commands a really different level of respect. And that's a really important thing to distinguish, because if you can't, you got to be able to distinguish that first and foremost, right? So I would say to you that I think PMI is going to be taking the lead on this. I really do, especially in this kind of space. And then a lot of the rest of the organizations will be copying and to follow suit. That's what I think is going to happen. I would love to see what PMI is doing with the Infinity tool. I probably will investigate that a little bit more. But that sounds amazing to me. That sounds amazing. So I love it. I love it, Patrick. I really do. And I'm going to investigate that. I got some close people in terms of PMI. So I'm going to have some conversations since you brought that up and see what's up. I mean, I'm really just kind of like, wow, this is interesting, you know. So it's just like, wow, this is crazy. So no, I agree completely, right? Let's see, SD. Now SD, I don't know exactly who you are, right? Okay, so Cena, how you doing, Cena? Great to see me. Hey, I'm here. I'm live. You was in the African Girls. So this is the young lady from the African Girls boot camp that I did. Some of you all saw me post this on LinkedIn. Yeah, you passed. That's good. Congratulations. You're officially certified. Yeah, training was good. I'm glad you got something out of it. But remember what I said to you, Cena. I said this again and again and again, and I'm gonna repeat it to you right here. Like I said in every single class, don't embarrass me on the street. Don't embarrass me on the street. You know, when you think 50, beautiful young black women got trained, got their CSM certification from the first black certified Scrum trainer, who lineage includes Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland. You stand on the shoulders of greatness. You stand on the shoulders of greatness because I stand on the shoulders of greatness. And since we all are standing on the shoulders of greatness, you need to make something happen with the stuff. You need to make things happen over there in a way that we've never seen before. And so I can come over there and look at you and be like, well done. Well done. That's what I want to be able to do, right? So you got to represent. You got to properly represent, right? A lot of times when people get these certifications, they don't do, maybe 10% of them do something with it, right? But, I had a young lady at some point who came through a hardship class, and she went from working in the retail part of one of these big box stores to working in the technical part of that organization within 6 months, being a Scrum Master. It changed her life completely, probably doubled or tripled her salary. It was just amazing to see that happen. And I clearly remember the letter that she sent to me. She sent me a letter, one-on-one letter, about her situation, and we got her through the hardship thing. She had a CSM, CSPO, and I mean, in 6 months, she had what she needed. She was rocking it, right? So it's people like that I'm super proud of, and I expect to see some of that same stuff from you. I expect you to do things that can have an impact on the world in some kind of way. So, do your thing, make it happen, make us all proud is what I would say. So definitely super, super important, right? So welcome, Cena. Let's see, for individuals with diverse career background but no formal CSM experience, after certification, what opportunities are available for consulting or contracting in PO or dev roles? I mean, I would say to you, CT, if you was hiring people, would you hire you with no experience? I wouldn't, especially with all these people with experience. So what I've said in a prior show, I said go volunteer. Go find a way to do Scrum someplace. and then you can talk about that. It doesn't matter that it's not specifically a Scrum role. It doesn't have to necessarily be the Scrum Master role, but the idea is apply Scrum someplace and use the application of that to put in your resume, right? So my statement to you is find an alternative way to get that experience, right? Some people belong to religious organizations. There are places they can volunteer at down the street, and you probably can do some type of iterative process with them that can show people that you got the ability to do it. I had a friend who was able to get in a program, volunteer for an organization, and was able to do that and did that for free, and then got hired to the organization later. So I've seen the people do things to kind of get that experience, right? But you gotta find some way to get some level of experience, some way of talking about it, because most organizations, they want you to know theory, but they want you to have practice, right? And so finding a way to practice is going to be extremely important to how you move forward. So I would say to you very seriously, think about alternative ways to be able to utilize it. If you're working someplace right now, I would say do some Scrum while you're there. You don't have to change jobs to do Scrum, just do some Scrum, right? A lot of times your bosses don't know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, so you might as well just do a little bit of Scrum while you're just hanging out, right? At the current place where you're at. I've done Scrum with my kids, y'all. I've done Scrum all over the place, so there's no reason why you can't do it. So my statement is start thinking out of the box. Start thinking about what you can do to gain some experience at this thing. Even though it may not be specific to IT, just remember, Scrum is a time box plan that you evaluate daily. You learn about the product, you learn about the process, you do it again. That's all Scrum is. So at the end of the day, you ain't got to be perfect with everything. You just got to show that you got some experience in applying this thing, even though it may be unpaid. You want to turn that unpaid experience into paid. So, I would say, but focus on one of the roles, right? Focus on a role in particular, right? The roles are very different, so I definitely would focus on one or the other, right? So there we go. So that's good. Let's see, Patrick, about 3 free courses on there now, especially for members, and good AI support. I may have to go take those courses, man, for real. I pay this membership for PMI, and I don't take none of that stuff, so I may have to go take the courses, right? I'm very happy that you won't embarrass me. This is a good thing, right? I like it. I love it, right? So, yeah, so here's a good thing that Patrick says here. Offer your services to existing Scrum teams in your organization to gain some experience and get a platform to showcase your knowledge. Yeah, I think that's an amazing thing. And so, yeah, I think that's a way to go about doing it, especially if you're in an organization that's doing a little bit of that. But, find a way, man. Find a way. I keep running into nonprofits that are doing more and more to Scrum. One of my first training gigs was with a non-for-profit, right? There's this group called Awana Clubs, right? Awana Clubs, like when I became a CST in 2013. It's one of the first groups I trained with based out of Chicago. Well, at least what I trained with is based out of Chicago. I had an amazing time with them, right? And there's a non-for-profit. I don't know if there's a non-for-profit. I should not say that. And the reason why I shouldn't say that, because, you realize that Rolex is a non-for-profit. Rolex is a non-for-profit, man. Like, Rolex is a non-for-profit. Like, I don't know why I got all these miscellaneous pieces of information in my head, but I just do. But Rolex is a non-for-profit, right? And so once I saw that Rolex is a non-for-profit, man, I just have no belief in anything that I used to believe. I don't have any belief in anything I used to believe. Yeah, man, for real. So, if Rolex can be a non-for-profit, yeah, a lot of people can be. But you understand my point, right? Find a way to get some experience. And it doesn't have to be, paid experience, right? Trust me, experience somebody. If they see you out there and you got the right attitude and you got the right fit for the organization, they'll move on you. We've all had to have that first opportunity to find that first gig. And another thing to do is go and consult. Consult. Like, literally, there's lots of people looking for people. These recruiters. Probably the biggest thing I would see inside of Scrum meetups and Agile meetups would be every time there was at least a recruiter. Every time I showed up to one of those events. So I would say start networking, getting with people, and you'll be good. Okay? So other questions. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. So more information to come, right? So, any questions? Okay, we might be wrapping it up for tonight. Look like y'all are done. I'm done. I've just had a long day. But I'm good to go. I just got lots of things that I be trying to do. I have a big list of stuff, but I'm going to, cause I am sort of ADD or ADHD. I gotta be busy, and most people don't believe. I don't know why that I'm not. I'm an introvert, right? So that's the other thing, right? Yeah, nah, life is good, y'all. So anyway, that being said, we probably gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I don't see any additional questions. So you all, this has been a pleasure. We'll keep doing it. Probably next week I'm not gonna come with a topic either because I just don't feel like creating a topic. I have to think through it, man. There's a problem, right? And I just don't this past week I don't feel like thinking. Next week I can tell you right now I'm not gonna feel like thinking. I probably won't feel like thinking until after the holiday. Like, I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being honest. And I'm supposed to be doing these Scrum Masters of African Descent conference in October. So I'm keynote speaking. So I had to send y'all that information too and drop that on LinkedIn. So yeah, more stuff coming. So hey y'all, I appreciate y'all time. Look, this has been a pleasure. I'm gonna see you on the Agile journey. Enjoy your remaining week, man, and do something amazing for yourself and do something good for somebody else. Other than that, you all have an amazing one. Peace. I will see you sometime soon. Have a good night.